Okay. Hello. Welcome to Con Corner. I'm Tina, and today I'm making chicken spaghetti. I'm making it with my canned turkey. We have a church Christmas party that we're going to tonight, and we're to take a dish, and this is what we decided on. I think every part of the country has its own recipe for chicken spaghetti, and this is the one that our town uses. When we first moved here, there was some kind of an event, and the ladies all got together and they said, all right, we're all going to make chicken spaghetti for this so that everybody has the same dish. And I said, well, I'll go find a recipe. And they said, oh no, we have the recipe. Here's, and so they gave me a copy of the recipe, and this is what I'm going to use. So you start out with 2½ cups of uncooked spaghetti broken into 2-inch pieces. So that is not quite a pound of spaghetti. I had about an inch diameter left over out of this 1-pound package. And what I did is I hold it over my skillet and break it up in there and break it into my cup, and that's how I measured it. And then I poured it all in. Then you cook that. So I've got it cooked and drained, and it's sitting right here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is it calls for 4 tablespoons of, this is how old this recipe is, calls for 4 tablespoons of oleo. so we don't use oleo, we use butter. So I'm going to use 4 tablespoons of butter here. There we go. And I'm going to move my pies because I don't want them to get, let's see, I'm going to find a place for them. We get sunbeam bread in our local stores, and they always have Miss Sunbeam on them. But at Christmas time, they have Miss Sunbeam praying, and the little very tiny letters there beside it is, "This is not by bread alone." So it's always a very sweet thing to buy a loaf of Sunbeam bread at Christmas time and see our sweet little Miss Sunbeam. She was a little girl in New York City that somebody saw on the street one day, and they made her their mascot. Fell in love with the way she looked, and it's a neat little story. Look it up you can find it on the internet if you look up Sunbeam bread. I'm so excited. I'm using so much of my own home canned food now that almost every day I have empty, cleaned jars that I have to take back and put away. So that's pretty neat. It happens almost daily now. All right. I am. Oh, here we go. There we go. No, I still did it wrong, didn't I? Okay. I guess we will work here. I'll move my spaghetti over there and get it out of the way. There we go. Now we know what we're doing. All right. My butter's melting. I'm going to. This is. Let's see, let me start with my onion. I've got 1 small chopped onion, or the equivalent thereof, and you know, we don't have small onions. That's a medium onion. And I'm gonna saute it a little bit, and it calls for 1/2 cup of diced pimentos, but I've got red peppers in the freezer, red bell peppers, so I'm using those, and 1/2 cup of chopped bell pepper. You can use green, but I had these sliced yellow ones in with my sliced red ones in a package, so I just went ahead and used the yellow ones. The green ones are really pretty in this dish. They add a nice color. So if I've got to have something green in there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim my garlic again. This is the 4th time that I've trimmed this in 3 weeks, and you can see how long it's grown. And it's kind of like green onions or chives, but it's got a garlicky flavor, and they're still just growing, and it's just in water. I just stuck them in some water that was sprouting. They were sprouting in my garlic container, just like these are. And I thought, well, I thought I might plant them, and I thought, well, I'll stick them in this little thing with some water in them since they had some roots, and they just kept sprouting. So it's been kind of fun because I've had these little fresh things all winter. I dehydrated some to use like dried chives, and just like chives, they have almost no flavor once they're dried. But it's you know, it's exactly the same size, shape, and color as chives, and saves me having to buy some. And I'm just snipping these with my scissors here. I've got a pair of scissors I keep in the, you know, they have those, you can buy kitchen shears, and I have a really good pair of kitchen shears, but for general use like this or opening packages and things, I'll buy a package of cheap scissors, you know, it's got several sizes, and one pair I'll stick in here in the kitchen, and I just wash them just along with the other knives, and they wash right up. So this will give us a little greenery in there. I'll cut my hand off in the meantime. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, now, next it calls for 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup. Now, I'm going to stir these, let these cook here, because I need to mix this all up in this one skillet. I've got my spaghetti right there. I mixed a little butter with it. I rinsed it, mixed a little butter with it so that it wouldn't stick together. And it's small enough. The 2-inch pieces is so that you can eat it with a fork without having it. I suppose you could use other kinds of things. I got a deal on this spaghetti. It was on half price, so I got it for 99 cents a pound, which is pretty good. I've got some in there that I got for 50 cents a package. Found it on clearance and just bought a whole bunch of it. We eat lots and lots of pasta through the year, so it never goes wanting around here. It always gets used. Some of the fancier shapes I've stopped buying because they're not always as versatile as you think they would be. But you can always use spaghetti, or our favorite is linguine. We much prefer, no, not linguine, fettuccine. I'm sorry. Fettuccine is our favorite. And then, of course, elbows. You can use elbows. You can use shells. I'm not a big fan of angel hair. There's one dish, and I'll make that sometime that uses angel hair, but it's not Italian. A little hint there. And it uses a similar pasta that's similar to angel hair. All right, let me get these all done there. Get my hands. I just buy whatever. Cream of mushroom soup is on sale. I'm not. Since I only use it for cooking with, I'm not picky about the brand. I haven't found any brands that are really bad. Now, I don't usually buy the lowest end generic unless it's super, super cheap. Get my turkey up in here because I'm going to need that broth. Yep. Gonna have to clean that lid, like it or not. Okay. If you don't bend the lid, then you don't go reuse it for canning, but you can reuse it for sealing up things with that I've dehydrated, to seal them into glass jars and keep the air out of them. I have one of those. I have a food saver that has the jar attachment where you can it'll take the air out of the jars and seal them right up with just one of those lids. So it's very, very handy. All right, now I'm going to add my 2 cans of tuna mushroom soup. I'm making enough of this, making a big enough batch that I think I'm going to have some left over for us to have dinner tomorrow night. We'll see if I do. I have an extra pan out just in case. There are so many different recipes for chicken spaghetti. Like I said, there's, some of them have tomato in them, but every town has their own specialty. And how I got grown without ever hearing about this dish, I do not know, but I had never, ever heard of it or eaten it before I moved here. All right, I want 1 cup of chicken broth, using my my turkey broth out of my canned turkey here. I'm going to have some left over, so I'll have to make something with that uses broth later this week. Stick here. Alright, turn that down. So that all over there. Alright, now I'm going to cut up my turkey. I need let's turn it way down. Need 4 cups of turkey. This is the first time I ever canned turkey, and I bought some after Thanksgiving and canned them. Bought 2 of them while they were on sale, and all but two jars didn't seal in my pressure can, but the rest of them did. Okay. Try not to handle this too much because I don't want it to shred up too much. It is a wonderful day here. It is not cold out, and it has rained. It's so nice. Just light little rains. Not necessarily the kind of rains we need, but just any rain. You know, when you live in these dry states like we do here in Texas, any rain is take that skin off. I don't want that on there. Got most of the skin off, but I deliberately mixed this meat up when I canned it so that I would never have anything that was all dark meat or all light meat. I tried to ration it out, mix it all together so that it would. I think I'm going to have to probably go get another one and add a little bit more meat to this because this isn't going to be the full 4 cups. It looks like it's about through. Let's see how it looks when I get it together here. Oh, that's not too bad. Well, maybe that's close enough. Maybe that's close enough. We'll see. Yeah, so that rain has been just lovely. We got up this morning and went to church, and it was just humid. There wasn't any rain. And as we were leaving, our church is big enough that we have 2 services on Sunday mornings. They have an early service and a 9 o'clock and a 10:30 service, and I like going to church, but I love going to the early service because it's, there's just so much time left when you get out. We get home and it's 11 o'clock and there's still time to cook dinner and, do all these things. All right, that's looking pretty good actually. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I don't have to cook that because I'm going to put it into a pan and bake it. So it's got, this was, boy, talk about finds at the Goodwill stores, or the second-hand stores. This is my new Calphalon skillet that I got. I got in a thrift shop recently. I'm very, very happy with it. we had some great big skillets when the boys were at home, and I had gotten rid of them after there were a few of the big things that I got rid of after I didn't have them at home anymore, and a couple of those big skillets were some of those things, and I've kind of regretted it because, like right now, it's easier to do this in a skillet than it would be in a pot, and so I was delighted to find that it was a good buy. Our Salvation Army, our local Salvation Army, does not have a store here. They do a soup kitchen and things like that, but they don't have a thrift store. We have another local charitable faith-based group that runs a thrift store, and that's the one that most of us give everything to and help out. All right, now I'm gonna get this stuff all out of the way. And I've got my black beans soaking. I'm going to make black beans and rice tomorrow. I think I'll film it, so I'll be sure and come back for that. Let's see. Okay. Nope, not going to be enough for 2 pots. Just the one. All I have to eat black beans and rice tomorrow night. Okay. Now I'm going to add some cheese. You need 2.5 cups of grated cheese total. I didn't want to stir it all up in that pot because I didn't want to leave any behind. So I'm going to add it here and stir it in here. What did I do with my other spoon? I'm going to mix some in with it, and okay, there we go. I'm going to mix it about 1.5 cups in with it, and then put the last cup on top. Oh, there's my spoon. Still sitting in my mushrooms can. All right. This is one of those things that would be good to add my dehydrated mushrooms to. I could have cooked them up in with the soup mixture while I was cooking it and rehydrated them that way. Certainly, if my peppers had been dried instead of frozen, I certainly could have used them. They would have been very nice in this, and onions too. Alright, now, it's a new Pyrex pan. I'm going to have to be very, very careful with it. I use it only because it came with its great little thing, but you have to be careful with new Pyrex. It is not made out of the same material that the old Pyrex was, and it will shatter with temperature changes. So be careful when you're cooking in it. I no longer buy it. I had this before I discovered the issues with it, before one exploded on me, and so I no longer. I will buy it, but not for use for baking in. You know, it's great for mixing things up in. I love my Pyrex measuring cups and those things. Those things are super. But I don't buy it for cookware anymore. I try to just get my metal cookware. Then I know what it's going to do. All right. When I get closer to time to go, I'm going to put this in the oven, and I'm going to bake it at 350 degrees until it's bubbly. I've got a lid I'm going to put over it, and well, I think I'll put some foil over it. And bake it until it's bubbly. Then I'll put it in my little container and put the lid on it and carry it off to our thing. All right. I'll try to get you a picture of it when it comes out of the oven. Thank you. Okay, there we are. There's the finished product. I'm running out of battery, so I'm going to close this up. All right. Thank you.